All right, page 3. If you're binge watching a series, something should probably happen that's interesting by now. We're reviewing for math, so nothing really interesting happens. We just got to go through. What is the area of the unshaded part of the rectangle below? The rectangle, the big one, we are going to find its area, which is 150 times 300. And 150 times 300 is 45,000. So that's the whole rectangle. The unshaded part is cut by two shaded parts, one being a square, obviously, and the second being a triangle. So for the square, we're simply going to do 100 times 100, because those are the side lengths. And that is going to give you 10,000. I don't know what happened to that. And then for the second part, the triangle, you're going to get 1/2 times 120 times 150, and that's 9,000. And you're going to subtract 45,000 minus what combines to 19,000, and your final answer should be 26,000 square feet. 18. A cone has a radius of 12 and a height of 9. What is the approximate lateral surface area for the cone? That formula is 4 times pi times L. Pi times radius times slant height. You have the radius, it's given to you, it's 12. You're given height, but not slant height. Remember, in terms of the cone, as I draw a bad one here, the height is 9, the radius is 12. So actually it's shorter, right, than it is wide at the bottom, but I just, drew that real quick. But to get slant height, we're going to have to find that. Pythagorean theorem real quick, 9 squared plus 12 squared. You add those up, you're going to get 225. Square root 25, 225, you should get 15. It's also just a Pythagorean triple, 9, 12, 15. So we're going to get pi times 12 times 15. Pi times 12, and that's 565.5. Make sure to use slant height and not regular height, because, it'll make you wrong. 19, write an equation for the circle. You'll get this. In the center, you get h and k. That's your radius, so it's x minus h squared, y minus k squared. K is 0, so you don't have to put y minus 0, it's multiple choice. You'll probably see this, but you never know. Equals 5 squared, which is 25. Should look like that, but multiple choice, you have to see. Number 20, approximately high off the ground is the top of the ladder. It's really just a simple Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus x squared equals 25 squared. 36. You're going to have to subtract here. That's 625. So we subtract the 36. And 625 minus 36 is 589. And if you square root 589, you get 24.269. Pen, you are special. 24.269, or if we keep our rounding to the tens, 24.3. 21. You are 50 feet from the screen at a drive-in movie. Your eye is on a horizontal line with the bottom of the screen. And the angle of elevation to the top is 58. How tall? Trig. Opposite. Adjacent. Hypotenuse. We need to know how tall, so there's an X. I need the opposite. I need the adjacent. Opposite and adjacent is tangent. Tangent 58 equals opposite over adjacent. When the number is on the bottom, you simply multiply it to both sides, because that's the that's the easiest one to do. So literally this is 50 times tangent 58, and you should get approximately 80.01, so 80.0 feet. And that's squared because it's just a height. So you add those two numbers up, and yeah, anyways, you're going to do Pythagorean theorem here. Sorry if that offends you, I didn't make the problem. So let's say that 985 squared minus 666 squared is 5,026, 669. Square root 526, 669. And the height is 725.7 feet. Write all the properties you know for rectangles of EFGD. I'm not going to write them all. I'm going to mention a few things here. If it's a rectangle, the four right angles, the diagonals will bisect each other. That goes back to them being parallelograms, but also the diagonals will be of the same length, so E to G will equal D to F. And of course, because it's a parallelogram of that family, opposite sides are going to match, opposite angles are going to be congruent, but they're all 90. So really, other than the parallelogram things, the main thing is the diagonals will be the same length. You have four 90-degree angles. Other than that, opposite sides the same, opposite sides parallel, all that stays the same. Write an expression that can be used to find the value of x. Trig, once again, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. I do promise that it is possible to use a trig ratio other than tangent, even though we haven't yet today. Oh well. Opposite over adjacent, 15 times tangent, 34, which, if you put that into your calculator, is 10.1. They don't have a length or a unit of measure. Whew! 3 pages down. Let's go to 4.